What's up, everybody? We are back. John Delarose, Delarose.com. That's DELARROZ.com. All my videos end up there, so you don't have to miss anything. Sometimes YouTube shows stuff, sometimes it doesn't. You know how it is. But it all gets loaded onto my website and gets posted a couple times a day, so you can check that. It's beautiful. There's a newsletter there, which sends a digest to you, so you never miss a video. And you'll get some free comics also. So this is Batman the Cult. I found this at a small comic shop up in Eureka, California when I was on vacation just now, getting away from the smoke. It's by Starlin and Wrightson. And this is a late 80s offering of Batman the Cult Volume 1 through 4, and I believe each issue is about 40 pages. This is an older graphic novel. It's printed on that like sort of late 80s, early 90s matte paper, which is not the highest quality paper. It's kind of a step above newsprint, but it's also how the colors were designed, so it kind of works out for a story like this at the same time. Get a nice little introduction at the beginning, and then Batman goes into this. We get a little Joker action, and then Batman rolls into this underground area where there's like a cult, literally a cult set up by this guy who is trying to get all the homeless together so he can, I guess, enact his nefarious plans or whatnot. And he captures Batman, and he just breaks Batman by drugging him and then torturing him. And Batman kind of goes insane through this. So this is one of those anti-hero stories where the hero really gets broke down and deconstructed. And I absolutely hate that. Starlin doesn't do that bad of a job of it because, at least the ending comes back and all that, which I'll get to later. But, it still has that like very dark, very edgy tone to it, which exemplified the late 80s and early 90s, which is not my favorite kind of material. Pretty cool use of colors in this. I like how the colorist really went with these two tones in a lot of spot. And this also really introduces a lot of what later I like to call Bendis panels, where you see just heads talking, and they're telling you what's going on rather than showing you what's going on. And there's whole media scenes all throughout the book of just heads talking, and it drives me crazy. And you can almost skip over that and read the story anyway. And that's the beauty of comics with art and all that. But I know this is a beloved story by a lot of people because it really pushed the envelope at the time. But I honestly don't like pushing the envelope that much, and more talking heads, even in the non-media stuff. But the media stuff's really egregious, especially here. It's like she's got the same panel just pasted 6 times. Drives me crazy. The art, though, otherwise is pretty beautiful. I mean, you get some cool stuff. The Batman's very impressionistic in a lot of ways, with his very pointy ears. You get some interesting art here. But it's all gruesome, and that's, I don't like to look at gruesome stuff too much. So the cult, this is where Batman really breaks down, and the cult kind of gets bigger and bigger, and nobody can really stop it. Batman ends up fighting for them in the second issue, so he starts doing bad things on their behalf, and he's confused, like I said, more of this media stuff. But he stops the truly bad things from happening because he's the Batman, of course. And it goes along like that for a while until Robin shows up. And Robin kind of just shows up and liberates him from what's going on. Batman says, "Welcome to hell." Oh my gosh, so edgy. So dark. But he gets pulled out of there, and then very much like No Man's Land later, this maybe is a prototype for No Man's Land, I don't know. The city gets cordoned off, the police pull out of there. It's left to this whole vigilante gang of undergrounders who are just killing police, killing everybody. And Batman eventually goes back in and is like, you know what? Enough's enough. So here's Robin fighting. Robin really is the catalyst who pulls Batman out of his stupor of being drugged and all that. Like I said, just not very heroic. I guess Robin's heroic. But, that's the takeaway here. And I do not like doing that to superheroes. I think it's a disservice to superheroes when you do this sort of thing. And that's just my opinion. But it gets really dark. But then in issue 4, it kind of picks back up again. Again, more of these panels. Exact eight shots of the exact same thing with just text. and you just don't need that information. You can see, you can show what's going on. And I know Jim Starlin's one of the greats here, but man, there's too many of those pages in this four issue volume. I love this. Batman with a gun. Batman's coming for him. And he's got an awesome giant all-terrain vehicle, and this is where I start to enjoy it again. So Batman really just steps it up. He's going to take back the city himself. He crushes it. Robin helps, but then Robin gets hurt, and Batman's like, I got to go it alone and finish this off, and so he does. And I love the giant vehicle. This is such cool. I love this red background and all that. The coloring was really cool. They did a great job with just the visual effects for mood and feel on this. You feel the hotness of the fire of what's going on, right? And Batman eventually takes down the guy who leads the cult, and he beats the ever living crap out of him, but he refuses to kill because he's Batman. You know how it goes. And once it's all over, there's a quick denouement about how the city gets back to normal with, again, telling a little bit when you don't have to do that because you can just show it in the comics, and that's that. So the pacing was pretty good. I mean, you can plow through this pretty quickly, especially if you just kind of skim over those media parts. Lots of dialogue, a little too much on that front. I just don't like the breakdown of the hero. It's just not for me. I think that dark and edgy stuff is just not, it's really gone too far at this point. And this was, the late 80s, and you've seen how it's spiraled and like really ruined the character over 30 years if you read some of the recent stuff. And I just don't want that. I want my heroes to know they're doing right, to be happy with the fact that they're doing right. Batman to me is a guy who's really going to push no matter what. He's going to be brilliant about it. And watching him just go insane from this random hobo dude who claims he's a prophet or whatever is just meh. So, yeah, a lot of groundwork and a lot of stories copy this. You'll see that, like, a lot of modern Batman stories copy this sort of format with breaking down Batman, with like I said, No Man's Land kind of copies this whole concept a little bit. You'll see Batman drugged a lot by, like, the Scarecrow or whatever later. So all that really starts here, and is that a good thing? I don't know. The art's pretty neat. I think it's a little too dark and a little too gritty for me also, but I really like the whole coloring effects that they did on this. Some of the impressionistic stuff that's done here is really pretty. And I believe this is out of print, so good luck finding this if you're looking for it. But it's an interesting story in the fact that I feel like, like I said, a lot of stuff copies it. And this is, at the time, probably pretty groundbreaking when it came out. But, it just has a bad feel to it. So, I don't know. 7 out of 10. It's all right. I'd rather read something else. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below and hit that like and subscribe button, guys. We'll be back later.